Wow. Again, we're here, but not like last time. This is a real time. Are you excited?
Yeah.
It sounded, I guess.
I'm so tired.
That's what happens when you spend your whole time playing your favorite game ever.
Life?
Oh, I was gonna say, that one with the dog.
What dog? Oh, wolf, you mean? Okami?
Same difference to me.
No, it's not the same.
Wolf, dog, they won't be mad at me if I call them the wrong species. They can't understand my English.
I mean, the name of the game is Okami, which means wolf. So.
I wouldn't know. I didn't play the game. I'm too busy reading about monsters.
Ooh, same here, bro.
Would you do one, though? Did you do one, or did you do two?
I'm doing two, but the second one will be kind of short.
Well, I'm going to start off with my short one, then.
Okay.
The Strigoi.
Strigoi.
Can you take a guess what it is?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Do you remember kind of what we talked about last real episode? No, you don't, do you?
No, because I can't remember if it was the Selkie one was the last one.
Oh shit, it might have been. I might be the one before that even. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Romanian vampires again. Get in there. The Romanian vampire, the Strigoi. Oh shit, an awful name. Strigoi. Strigoi.
Strigoi.
I looked up a video of Lost Tapes, which is an awful Animal Planet TV show, and that's how they pronounce it.
I'm also going to be talking about that.
Oh, it's a bad TV show. Like, it's fun to watch, but it's pretty bad.
I didn't even know about it until last night.
I watched it for like 5 weeks when it was airing. It kind of scared me when I was little. But I'm talking about the Strigoi. He's a Romanian vampire. St. Andrew's Day, the 30th of November. The official beginning of winter in Romania. According to traditional beliefs, it signifies the moment when the Nightwalkers, or Strigoi, compete with each other to bring misfortune and sadness to the people.
That's kind of hilarious.
What do you mean? There's nothing funny about that.
No, it's just really funny. It's like, how can we piss off these villagers? Who's gonna be the worst?
It makes sense because the Strigoi are troubled spirits of the dead rising from the grave.
I see.
Some are not dead. They're just living people. They have certain magical properties, such as shape-shifting into animals, invisibility, super strength, super speed, super senses, really great. Weather manipulation, that's a different one. Mm-hmm. Immortality, spell casting. This one will really throw your head for a loop. Immunity to the sun. Don't care.
Okay.
Fuck the sun.
That's
the ability to drain vitality of victims via blood loss. So very classical. They are most commonly referred to as the myth behind the modern day Bram Stoker vampire. They're the ones that started it all, boyo. The word is thought to originate from the Greco-Roman strix, which denoted a witch or a type of ill-omened nocturnal flying creature, or the combination of the two, that craved human blood or flesh, especially babies.
It's always the babies, eh?
Well, back in the day, your baby always died.
Yeah.
And you wanted to explain why?
I was reminded of the Castlevania episode where they get to like the village or like that castle town place, and like these demons just like slurp up a baby. It was pretty terrible.
Ew. Well, described as plaguing infants, a reported tradition in Transylvania is, upon the birth of a child, one tosses a stone behind himself and exclaims, "This into the mouth of the Strigoi." So fuck you, vampire. This is my baby.
Oh, if you hear
throw
sounds,
a rock
sorry,
at him.
I'm just going to interrupt. If you hear sounds in the background, it's my roommate listening.
No,
to
you're supposed to leave it as a mystery. You're supposed to say it's a ghost.
Oh, it's a ghost. I was visited by a ghost the other night.
Edit that one out, Dave. That's our editor we don't have.
Yeah, it's me. I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you, Dave. You sound a lot like Christine.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You're both twins. There are different kinds of Strigoi. I'm going to whip out you the 3 Strigoi. You got the Strigoaka, which is that's the feminine one. That's a witch. You got the Strigoi Vuyu. That's a sorcerer. He steals the wealth of farmers. That is to say, their wheat and their milk. He can stop the rain and drop hail, and give death to men and cattle. So he's a weird sorcerer. He's got a weird skill set.
Yeah.
And then you got the Strigoi Mort, which is the dead Strigoi. He's the scariest one.
Mort means death. So.
Yeah, he's the classical one that we're referring to most of the time. His nature ambiguous, but both human and demonic. He or she emerges from their grave, returns to their family, and behaves as if they were alive, weakening them until they die.
Huh.
So trick, if your family member comes back from the dead, they're probably a Strigoi.
Or like lead poisoning, the usual.
No. Strigoi. Don't ruin my bit. There's a couple ways to become one. Here we go. You're the 7th child of the same sex in a family. So, 7th boy, 7th girl, vampire. You led a life of sin, vampire. If you die without being married, by execution for perjury, by suicide, or having been cursed by a witch. So, it's kind of weird and hard to be one, but you could still be one. You never know. There's a few ways to know if the Strigoi's out there. Some signs: unexpected plagues, opposed to the expected ones. Droughts, floods, probably mean there's a vampire. You could identify them in a few ways. It's pretty easy. If they have a tail, a vampire. If they're an unbaptized child, that could be a vampire. Red noses, a vampire. Early balding, might be a vampire.
If it's red noses, does that mean isn't it supposed to be in winter?
Yeah, you might be a vampire.
Huh.
So keep your eyes on them. Early balding. Those who don't eat garlic might be a vampire. If you die of an unnatural cause, vampire. Afraid of incense or disliking incense, vampire. Or if you're sick or recently deceased and an animal crosses under your bed, you're probably a vampire.
That one's a little bit strange.
The animal's fine, but you're a vampire.
Okay.
It's weird, yeah. It could be your family pet, but you're the vampire. It doesn't matter. Now I'm going to whip in a couple of examples of vampires back in the day.
Okay.
1909, peasant children from a village in the Carpathian Mountains started to die mysteriously. The villagers began to suspect the recently deceased count was a vampire dwelling in his old fortress, so the frightened villagers burned it to the ground.
Really?
Fuck that guy in his stupid house. He's dead. What do you want?
That's really terrible.
1969, in the city of Capatinini.
1969?
Where after this is the year of sex. After the death of an old man, several family members begin to die in suspicious circumstances. Unearthed, the corpse did not show signs of decomposition. His eyes were wide open. The face was red and twisted in the coffin. The corpse was burned to save his soul. 1970, a series of hideous crimes shocked Bucharest? I don't know how to say it. The attacks took place at midnight. During rainstorms, the victims were usually waitresses returning home from work. In 1971, Ion Rimaru was arrested and identified by teeth marks on the corpses. During the trial, he was in a state of continual drowsiness. He was interrogated at night because he was not lucid at any other time during daylight hours. Rimaru was intractably lethargic, sentenced to death. Rimaru became violently agitated. It took several policemen to restrain him.
I mean, it was death, so...
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but he's probably a vampire. During the Romanian Revolution of 1989, the corpse of Nicolae Ceausescu did not receive a proper burial. This made the ghost of the former dictator a threat in the minds of the superstitious Romanians. Noted revolutionary Gelu Voiocan carpeted the apartment of the conductor. Conducator? We're gonna go with carpeted the apartment of the conducator with braids of garlic. This is a traditional remedy against the strigoi. So that's
where the wreath of garlic comes from?
Yeah, garlic from the strigoi. They don't like garlic.
That's a bloody shame.
Here's one that's really, really recent. Before Christmas 2003, in the village of Marotino Desu, a 76-year-old Romanian man named Peter Toma died. In February 2004, a niece of the deceased revealed that she had been visited by her late uncle. Georgi Marinescu, a brother-in-law, became the leader of a vampire hunting group made up of several family members. After drinking some alcohol, they dug up the coffin of Petra Toma, made an incision in his chest, and tore the heart out. After the removal of the heart, the body was burned and the ashes mixed in water and drunk by the family, as is customary. However, the Romanian government, anxious to maintain a good image in preparation for the country's accession to the European Union, had banned this practice, and the 6 family members were arrested by the police of Crova from Dol County for disturbing the peace of the dead, and were imprisoned and sentenced to pay damages to the family of the deceased. Since then, in the nearby village of Amarasti Desu, people drive a fire-hardened stake through the heart or belly of the dead as a preventative. The 6 were sentenced for 6 months. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
It's fine. This guy dead anyway. Get rid of this vampire. Wow. He was a vampire. What else are you gonna do with a vampire?
It's not a vampire.
He was a vampire. Alright. In 1887, French geographer Elisée Reclus details the burials in Romania. If the deceased has red hair, he is very concerned that he was back in the form of dog, frog, flea, or bedbug, and that it enters into houses at night to suck the blood of beautiful young girls. So it is imprudent to nail the coffin heavily, or better yet, a stake through the chest of the corpse. Which leads us perfectly into some preventative measures. Are you ready to keep out the vampires? The first one, kind of cheap but stinky. Cover your windows, doors, and chimneys with garlic. They hate it.
Fair.
Unearth and behead the body, and then place the corpse and head face down and bury it again.
Face down?
Yeah, flip
the corpse.
Flips the corpse after you cut its head off. Make it look at the ground. Can't get back up if it's on its belly. It's like a reverse turtle. The meat of a pig killed on the day of Saint Ignatius guards against vampires, according to Romanian legend. So, Saint Pig meat.
Saint Pig meat.
Vampires hate it. And the final and most lengthy method that I got from Lost Tapes, the Animal Planet original series, I think, is the most lengthy one. It has 6 parts. 1. Exhume the strigoi. 2. Remove its heart and cut it into 2 pieces. 3. Drive a nail into its forehead. 4. Place a clove of garlic under its tongue. 5. Smear its body with fat of a pig killed on St. Ignatius' Day. 6. Turn the body face down, so that if the strigoi were ever to wake up, it would be headed to the afterlife. Scary.
That's a lot of steps. That's like a whole day's worth of work.
Well, not really. I mean, the biggest part is part 1 and 6, which is dig it up and then bury it back. But also, that takes most of the day.
You have to get the fat from the pig, right?
You might have that though.
You have to render the fat from the pig.
Yeah, but you might have that though. Who's to say you don't have a stockpile of that?
I don't think you'd have a stockpile of that.
You might in Romania. That might be a classical thing you do to pigs on St. Ignatius' Day.
Maybe.
But that's the strigoi, the classical vampire. Appearance is that of people that are dead but came back. I like vampires. What's yours?
I'm doing the Dover Demon.
Ooh, I know the Dover Demon.
So funny because I didn't realize it was Dover, Massachusetts. So.
Yep, he's close. If you super close to where I live, probably only a couple hours away. I believe it's Western Mass, if I had to guess.
I have no idea. I just kind of I didn't look at the map or anything like that. I probably should have, because there's like some road names that have been mentioned that I didn't write down because I think that's just a bit much.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I think I'm guessing it's Western Mass. I don't know.
So, 10:32 p.m. on April 21st, 1977, William Bartlett, Mike Mazzoca, and Andy Brody, all age 17, claimed that they saw a large glowing-eyed creature. By that, I mean the eyes were large, not the creature. The creature is very small. With tendril-like fingers while driving.
Wait, are you telling me it's a chibi?
It has been described that it's been described as
chibi in appearance. All right, cool.
It's been described that its head is as big as its body.
Ooh, yeah, chibi is shit then, huh? It looks like an android.
Yeah. There needs to be a Dover Demon.
Yeah,
when's my big eyes and everything? It's like an anime.
When's my Dover Demon android?
They thought it was a dog or a cat at first, but then when they had the headlights on it, it actually didn't look like a dog or cat at all. It is described, or they described the eyes as like two orange marbles because they were so wide and open and circular. Its head was the shape of a watermelon, they said. So like really ovular, like long.
Weird.
It's kind of scrawny.
Alright, I'm glad you said scrawny because I thought you were going to say sexy. And I don't know why.
You get your head out of there.
The Dover Demon's big watermelon head is kind of sexy.
Where it's like wearing like a bikini.
Oh, that's scary. That'd be a scary day.
Yeah. So it has a scrawny body with no hair. It is peach colored skin, but the skin is supposed to, like, they didn't see it up close obviously, but from what it looked like it was rough with the texture of wet.
Oh, I'd never heard that it had peach skin.
Yeah, it's not smooth. It's rough.
I'd always thought it was green.
No, it's peach.
Oh, it's like a human almost, peachy colored.
So they got the hell out of there and like drove back home. The next day, though, April 22nd, 1977, John Baxter, age 15, was leaving his girlfriend's house, and he was walking down the street, not her street, but I guess another street, because it took him like an hour to see it. But he noticed a figure coming towards him, and he thought it was like a neighbor, so he, said hi, and it never responded. And then it got closer, and then they both stopped, and then the creature ran away into what did they describe it as? A gully that was next to the sidewalk, and this guy chased it into this wooded area.
What the hell?
For some reason. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, times are different. Back then, 15-year-olds saw an alien and said, I'm gonna go kick its ass in.
I guess so. So
I'm gonna catch it and show my friends.
So he chases this thing and eventually catches up to it. He's about like 30 feet away from it, and he described it as like perched on a rock with its feet molded to the top of the rock, so like kind of like cupping it with its, like a monkey basically.
Yeah.
And it had like giant glowing eyes and a small body, but he described it looking like a monkey shaped. It is kind of believed that it could just be an exotic pet that was set loose. People are equating it to a loris, which is kind of like an eye. It's like that lemur family, nocturnal, big-eyed, weird-bodied, long-fingered, gross.
Does their head look like a giant watermelon? No.
They got a weird-shaped head. It's pretty much like watermelon-shaped. It's like long weirdness. It's bulbous, but then long at the bottom. It's strange. But they're so cute. They got big eyes. It also, I don't know, I don't see it, but some people are saying that it could be a baby moose.
What the fuck? Why?
Because baby moose are weirdly shaped and they have long heads.
I mean, I could see that if the description was a big-headed creature with 2 legs, like the moose was dead on to you. But a moose is quadrupedal, so why would you think it looked like a monkey human?
Because it wasn't seen like walking on its hind legs. It was seen like on all fours.
Yeah, but aren't mooses even when they're babies like 6 feet tall almost? Like huge.
No, they're not that big. They're like dog sized.
Are they?
Yeah.
Or was its mom though to kick your ass?
That's the thing. But yeah, that's.
See a baby moose and you should just run away because the mom moose is gonna come in and kill you like a hippo.
I've only seen a moose like twice.
Yeah, amazingly you're still alive.
I was on a bus, so it didn't really mean anything.
It just doesn't matter.
It was
still
just
amazing
like,
you're alive.
On the side of the road, just eating something and going like, "What's up?"
Mooses eat buses for breakfast.
Mooses are super cool.
Mooses are the only true original cryptid.
Moose are cool. They're awesome. But
so it's either a moose or a monkey? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think even the dumbest... I mean, maybe if it was a moose with
also,
mange.
some people think it's like a trans-dimensional like being.
That makes more sense to me.
Because they're like, it popped in and out of the dimensions. That's
yeah,
why
it's a
we only
transdimensional
saw it for,
monkey.
Like, that one day, and I'm like, what happens if it was just an exotic pet that just got found in the 2-day period?
Yeah, but what if it was a transdimensional exotic pet?
And I don't know, because we don't really know about transdimensional.
Or time slips. That's another great... I like that theory for big feet and other cryptids. Is like, you did see a plesiosaur. By accident, it just kind of popped in and popped out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an overlay of another time. It was just like a... Yeah, it was like a little TV screen. You saw it for a second, and then it went back to the right zone.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got.
Is that it?
Dover
That's
Demon.
all the Dover Demon? Oh, Dover Demon's a tiny little baby.
It was only seen that one time. Officially.
Oh, how mysterious.
Yeah.
You should put him on your cloth you're gonna draw.
I probably will, because he's very oddly
big giant
shaped.
head. It's a big old
But it's like a featureless
head.
face other than the eyes. It's just like this weird, like monkey-shaped, like what is it called? Nurari Hyun? You know what I'm talking about? Nurari Hyun?
No, for some reason I keep wanting to say Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
What?
I have no idea who Nurari Hyun is.
The king of yokai.
Oh, yeah, I watched an anime once.
Yeah, shut up.
Well, I did, and his dad had a big head, or his grandpa had a big head.
That's what he's supposed to look like.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, that's what I saw.
Christ, I don't remember what it's actually. I think it's Nurari Hyun. Yeah, something like that. It's in this book. I got a new book, guys. Got a new book. How exciting.
Had a Dover Demon in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He didn't go to Japan.
Shoulda. Well. What if he did? What if he's actually the Nurari Hyun? And he just got lost in America?
Well, Nurari Hyun is supposed to be like an elderly man that like sneaks
he
into
lost his
houses
clothes.
and like plays tricks and drinks her tea.
He got lost.
He got lost.
He was out on the road with no clothes. He's like, oh, jeez. How embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I found it. Nurari Hyun. Yeah, I was right. Nurari Hyun. Old man, big head, full of knowledge, drinks your tea.
Oh. Good thing I don't drink tea.
I do, but you can drink the tea that I have because I don't like it, except for my vanilla Earl Grey. Because I got a mango green tea that I don't want to touch because mango green tea sounds terrible.
All tea sounds terrible to this guy.
Yeah, it's fine. So do you have a second topic?
I do, but do you have a second topic?
I do.
Alright, on the count of three, we'll both say our topic. 1, 2, 3, hold up.
Nuppeppo.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck
Not
either of us
Nuppeppo,
said.
but Nuppeppo, sorry. I
Alright.
misnumbered it.
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 15. If you get it right, you get to go second.
Okay.
Here you go. 1, go.
15.
Nope. It was 8. You have to go first. Kick it off.
Oh, 15 is my favorite number, by the way.
Odd. Mine's 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a book once in class that was 6 2 years in a row, and I thought it was cool.
Oh. I don't have any special reason why mine's 15. I just really like it.
Well, sometimes they're just weird.
So, I'm gonna do Nuppeppo. which is a
Nuppeppo?
I don't know if anyone knows this one, but I'm fascinated by it.
I don't.
It's Nuppeppo.
Nuppeppo.
It's literally just a mound of flesh. It's a walking mound of flesh. I'm not sure if I should just read the text that's here because it's very interesting. But yeah, it's a featureless blob. Its name is derived from the word nupperi, which is like a slack face or a dazed expression. I don't quite understand the part where it talks about bronze bells, but it has something to do with like Buddhist like traditions and things like that. But it appears in temples that have been abandoned, and what does it say? It says, and is in front of a bush of Nira chives. So, I found out something interesting, but apparently Buddhist monks were not allowed to eat, like chives and things like that. Chives, leeks, garlic, onions, and scallions, because it had stimulating properties. I don't know what that means. Also, it tastes good, which is kind of really sad if you think about it. They weren't allowed to have flavor in their food, which is so sad. And Nuppeppo is kind of like that idea of don't consume this. Like, that's like the sin of consuming these things, like monks consuming things that they're not allowed to consume. And in some stories, it is said that the Nuppeppo can be eaten.
No.
But I think it just it's not a good idea.
Don't. Bad idea.
Yeah. But I don't think there's any like sightings of it. The only thing I can say is that there was like a video that came out a long-ish time ago, and I was like on this binge of watching ghosts seen on TV, blah blah blah, and it was like a newscasting person who, this girl, the newscaster, and her crew were visiting an abandoned hospital that has been known to have like ghost sightings and things like that. So they went in to like investigate, and it's super popular, but like I think a lot of the videos have been taken down because it's kind of hard to find now. But basically they go into this place and they witness some ghosts. By the end of it, you see like the girl starts freaking out. She's like screams, and she screams at something off camera, and then the camera guy like looks, and as he's looking, there's like this weird gross mound of flesh, and I am dead certain that's Nuppeppo. Nuppeppo, because it's those double P's. It makes Peppo. That's how Japanese works. But yeah,
Nuppeppo.
But yeah, that's my story. It's about walking flesh, and it's like my favorite because it's so weird.
Why'd you fall in the valley, girl?
Because it's hilarious.
Everybody knows Nuppeppo is a valley girl.
Yeah.
Oh man, that leads to mine. I picked a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The Huldra.
The Huldra.
Huldra. You know this one. Do you remember it, Christine?
The Huldra?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my goodness. A seductive forest creature found in Scandinavian folklore.
Oh jeez.
The name derives from a root meaning covered or secret, also hidden. Often said to be connected with the German goddess of agriculture and crafts Huldra. In Norwegian, she's known as Huldra. The Huldra being a ra, which is a keeper or warden of a particular location or landform. Folklore presupposes that there's actually an entire race of Huldra, and not singular entities, the Huldra folk. Do you still not know of her yet? Can't remember?
No.
Oh, don't worry, you will once I get to the description at some point. She's known as the Skogskra, forest spirit, or Talimeha, pine tree Mary in Swedish, and Ulda in Sami folklore. The Huldra is used for the females of the race. A male Huldra is called a Huldrakal. They appear in Norwegian folklore and are closely related to other underground dwellers. The females are seen as incredibly beautiful. From the front, she appears as a beautiful young woman with long hair, and in some descriptions she's naked, others she's dressed as a dairymaid, but from behind, she is hollow like the tree of a trunk.
Yes! Okay.
Possesses a tail like a cow or a fox that she tries to conceal.
They're like elves.
They're pretty sweet. Sometimes she can have lynx ears, though, which is pretty neat. And the dudes are super ugly and have big noses.
Because, girls always have to be pretty and guys get to look like however they want.
No, they get to be hideous, Christine, is how they describe it. Hideous and grotesque. Not however they want. They are hideous and grotesque. They look awful. They have big noses and everybody makes fun of them. Poor things. Sometimes they have a dog with them, though.
Nah, unless they have one friend.
In Scandinavian folklore, the Huldra is a wood nymph who guards the forest and flocks. She spends her days caring for the flocks and singing in the mountainside. So, cattle, sheep, that meme. Kind of reminiscent to the, that cool guy I did that one time. I forget his name. Oh, no. Do you remember his name?
No.
Oh, goodness.
Dude, I have really bad memory. I think you remember this, right?
Yeah, it's that feeling when you remember it and you can feel it. You can almost see it, but your brain has put a big black line through it.
Big black line.
It's right there. Well, similar to other ones, but a lot of old European folklore, fairies and what have you, regardless of the kind, tend to just be, we live in the woods, we like the forest, animals are cool, we might be mean. Which is really funny. The Huldra are kind if treated with respect. They're kind to charcoal burners, watching their kilns as they rest. She'd awaken them if there were any problems. In exchange, they'd leave provisions for her in a special place. Other tales speak of the Huldra being associated with hunting. She may blow down the barrel of a huntsman's rifle, causing it to never miss a shot. Sometimes she'll help girls herd their cattle. This is my favorite story I found. It's really funny. It's 2 sentences. Basically, a lonely man is approached by an annoying Huldra, which he gets rid of by throwing steel over her.
What?
He's lonely and she shows up, but she's really annoying. He throws steel over her because he just has some. That's so their weakness. Weird. The Huldra's weakness is steel, or if you see her tail, her magic doesn't work. If she's like alluring you or tricking you in some way.
Well, that makes sense because you're just like, the
got ya.
Yeah, it's like the illusion is gone. You have a tail. You're not like a sexy lady. You're a weird.
Or you throw steel on them. So remember, keep steel around.
It makes me think of fairies, or not fairy. I don't know. Like, so there's another thing where like iron is their weakness. So if they get touched with it, they like burn.
Yeah. I don't know why steel. That one's odd to me. But here's another legend. A boy in Tiveden went fishing, but he had no luck. Then he met a beautiful lady, so dazzling that he felt he had to catch his breath. But then he realized who she was, because he could see a fox's tail sticking out below the skirt. As he knew that it was forbidden to comment on the tail to the lady of the forest, if it were not done in the most polite manner, he bowed deeply and said in a soft voice, "Milady, I see that your petticoat shows below your skirt." The lady thanked him gracefully, hid her tail, and told the boy to go across the lake to fish. That day, the boy had great luck with his fishing. Every time he threw out the line, he caught a fish. This was the Huldra's recognition of his politeness. So be nice to them.
Just they might nice give to you people in general.
I mean, don't be nice to the Strigoi, they'll kill you, but be nice to the Huldra. There are a few tales of marriages between the Huldra, one of which the Huldra beat a man who had promised and failed to keep their engagement secret, hit him in the ears with her tail until he went deaf and lost his wits.
So she like bitch slapped him so hard that he freaking like
over and over till his ears broke and his head got shook too hard.
Jesus Christ.
Another has a Huldra whose husband had been treating her poorly, and to remind him that she ain't no bitch to trifle with, she went down to the forge he was at, took a shoe horse out of the forge, red hot. Yeah, I said it backwards, but it's okay, ignore it. And she took it out of the fire, red hot, barehanded, and bent it straight. and put it down, reminding him that she had many magical powers. From that day forward, he was nice again.
Wow.
Because Jesus Christ,
yeah,
that's scary.
That would be pretty scary.
He's like, no thanks. The Norse have a not as nice of a marriage one. If you marry a Huldra in a church, her tail will fall off, turning her human, but she will become very ugly.
Yep.
But wait, she then gains the power of 10 men.
Yo.
That's trade-off.
I was gonna say.
Oh man, now we can go be super lumberjacks together,
if you're just marrying somebody for how awesome they are and their personality, the looks don't matter.
Especially now when you can bench press 10 dudes. Yeah. Holy shit, rip a tree down. It's so funny there. Even more tales of the Huldra, these of being less friendly. They'll appear suddenly out of the rain and the mist, enticing men or women into the forest, to their caves or subterranean homes, where they're kept as slaves, lovers, or worse. Sometimes they're released, but cursed with constant temptation to return to their captors. Other times she lures them out for sex, rewards those who are good, and kills those that suck.
Yikes.
Yeah, don't fucking be bad at this.
Yeah.
Other times she'll steal your baby and swap it with a changeling that's really ugly.
I see.
Classic fairy jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Those who sleep with her will become introverted because their soul stays behind with her. There's the origin tale of the Huldra folk is simple. A mother, I think in one of the tales it is Adam, Eve, and Lilith in some iteration, somehow, some forth, depending on how Christian the tales get.
Mm-hmm.
But the easier one is a mother had washed half of her kids squinky tinkly clean, and God showed up, and she hid the other half. She was like, you guys are ugly, and hid them away. They were all dirty, covered in dirt. And God said, are these all your kids? And she goes, yeah. Look at how pretty they are. And he goes, well, bad job. The other half of the kids you didn't show me will now be hidden forever from all mortals.
That's
turning
so
them
sad.
into Huldra. Yeah, it's a perfect mother story for Mother's Day. That's what we're recording today. Haha. Nailed it.
Love your kids.
Nailed it. There's a couple fun facts. Here you go. Of places named after the Huldras. Which is going to be hard because they all have crazy names. So here we go.
Try your hardest.
Duldrmos, or Huldrbog. A bog in Jerusalem, Denmark. Huldrhelm, southeast on the island Karlsøya, Troms, Norway. The name means home of the Huldr. Huldrhusen is an area on the southwest of Norway's largest island, Hinnøya. Its name means houses of the Huldrs. Oh fuck, this one's bananas. Alright, here we go. Uldadvari in Kivanengen, Troms, Norway means mountain of the Huldrs in North Sami.
I wish we had fans from, was it Denmark you said?
Yeah, they can tell me how bad I did.
I would love to see how they would pronounce it.
Uldesvagi is a valley southwest of Alta in Finnmark, Norway. The name means Huldr Valley in North Sami. So those are. If I lived in those places, I'd probably pop by those places every once in a while because it just sounds like a really cool place.
Yeah.
Like it's basically like the same whole idea of Salem over here in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Is I really really like places that are based off myth stuff. And my final tidbit is in 2012 there was a movie made about the Huldra.
Really?
Called Tale. Thale. The premise is two crooks or something or other stumble upon a kidnapped Huldra who lived in the basement of some guy/scientists. And then her family comes and saves her and kills the other people, but leaves the two nice guys. And she had to take milk baths to keep away her family. It looks like a really bad B movie from Sci-Fi Channel.
See, I was gonna say it might have been like a weird porno.
No, it's one of those. You know how a lot of horror movies have that like film, but I don't think it ever gets fully. I think the weirdest it gets is the milk bath, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
Kind of like Splice, but Splice I think gets weirder.
That's a Canadian film, sorry.
I didn't watch that, but this is, I believe it's actually from wherever Troll Hunter was made. The same, that was...
Oh, really?
Was that Scandinavia or Denmark or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Troll Hunter's really good. This doesn't look as good, but it still looks like I kind of want to watch it just for the... just because it looks really funny.
Yeah. No.
The CG's awful in it if you look it up. Because in the movie's canon, she looks human because she's raised by a man, and he cuts off her tail, I think, all the time, kind of like Goku. But the Huldra that live out in the woods just look like scary. Like, you know, what's that villain? You know that stick bug villain from that movie you made me watch, Strange Love? Looks like that fused with a satyr.
Oh.
So they're kind of weird, and then CG, so they're really just unpleasant to look at. But it seems like it'd be neat. I want to watch that in Splice one day, because they both look on that same realm of kind of awful, but still kind of fun.
Yeah.
And this one's based off a myth, which is always good.
It's the only thing I could watch. Like, I'd have to watch it with friends. There's no point in watching it
No,
alone.
yeah, there's no watching that alone. I mean, Troll Hunter you can watch alone. That's a solid movie.
Oh, I see.
Have you watched Troll Hunter?
No.
You should give it a shot. It's in subtitles, so you can't really do anything else.
Eh.
But it's pretty fun. It's cute. It's just good, but it's found footage. So they go out looking for trolls with a literal troll hunter. And then they hunt 5 trolls.
That's
and then
really
movie
goofy.
It's really fun.
Holy crap.
But it's super great. I have it. I'd recommend watching it. It's a good time. But that is my Strigoi and Huldra. Huldra might be one of my favorite monsters now.
Yeah.
Because I love that one of her interpretations is just a milk lady with a tail. That just brings cattle around.
It's super
It's
cool.
really funny. Yeah, it's great. Thanks to those who came back after last week's awful episode.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's fine. The consensus now that we've had a week to stew is that it's a very bad game.
I'm not a fan of it. I like the art though.
It's a
The art
solid
direction
5
is
out of
really
10.
cool. And
Oh no, it has bits in it that's really good. It has not really. It has bits that are good and bits that are bad, but in general, it's a solid meh.
yeah. There are better dating sims and there are better party games, so
Yeah, if you want a better party game,
Mario
I would
Kart.
even tell you. Oh, Mario Kart. I would even just probably say to get one of the newer Mario Party games. Even though I really hate those.
Really?
I hate them, but you know it's better. You know that's more fun
Yeah.
than that was.
At least you can just go like, let's just play all the mini games.
Yeah, but ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But both of mine were actually suggestions by, I believe, Rusho again. You know what? It's fun. I look up all the suggestions, I copy and paste a few of them into my other tabs,
Uh-huh.
and then close the video I used to get them off of, and close the ones I don't pick, and then I don't know who the fuck I got these from. So from now on, I need to remember to not close the window I first
The
opened.
Dover Demon one was also a suggestion from Risho, because Risho's the best. So, yeah.
He's just really good at giving the one that really gets me.
What?
Because Huldra I wanted to look up because of the artist Hushabye Valley, who has a Huldra character.
Does
So I had to look it up. Yeah,
I need to find that now.
she has the... Yeah, she has the lynx ears and a foxtail and the bark back.
Oh, my shoulder just cracked so hard.
But if you would like to kick a Rusho off his throne and suggest something even more impressive,
Yes.
I dare you.
I found out about the Huldra actually from a dress-up game.
Oh my god, even your dress up here.
I haven't
Great.
played one in a while. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
This Huldra, my Huldra drawing for this episode is really cute.
I can't wait to see it unless you send it to me and then I don't remember because I was
No.
probably asleep.
It's only half drawn currently,
Oh.
but it's drawn to completion as this episode is here.
I'll probably have to draw a Dover Demon.
And with that, goodbye, spooks and ghouls.
Jeez.
This was another episode of Spooky Town. Wait, Occult Class.